This program is brought to you by Bless Money. We work with top lenders to secure a loan that suits your circumstances at the lowest interest rate possible. Study and work. We have changed the lives of more than 5,000 students, trainees, graduates, and professionals by matching them with over 2,000 companies since 2007. 3B's Education and Visa Services. Our educational sector expertise will help you choose the right course and accomplish your studying dreams in Australia.
Namaste. This is Ryan Shrestha from the Ryan Shrestha Show, a show about things that matter. And today I have a very special guest, a really funny, multi-talented celebrity from Nepal who is in Australia these days as an international student. And to tell you a little bit about her, she actually came into the media industry as a singer in 2004, I think you
2005.
2005, where you actually did a music video on YouTube, and that's how you became popular.
Yeah.
And the rest is history, right? So you did so many things after that. We'll talk about them one by one in our program today. So let's welcome Nattu Shah. Nattu Shah, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much.
And thank you very much for taking my invitation and coming here, taking off at work.
Of course.
So probably you must have lost like a couple $100 there.
That's all right.
Okay.
It's all worth it.
Sure. I'm sure today we'll have a very interesting discussion, and then maybe people will know more about you and maybe offer you a job, a new project, right? I mean,
of course, yes.
You're so talented, and you've been a little bit underground these days. So a lot of people here don't know about what you're doing, and that's what we're going to find out today.
All right. Okay. Ask away.
Sure. So Nattu is actually a media professional, I can say this, right? And you actually went to England a few years ago to study a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, it was not a few years ago. It was quite
Really?
quite some years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
But actually, my mom is from London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I actually got bullied into going to London to study with her.
Right.
Because obviously I was a teenager and I wanted freedom from my father.
Yeah.
Where I could go around and party and study at the same time. So I had actually chosen Singapore.
Yep.
But it was my mom who was like, "Oh, you're not gonna come to London, blah 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 blah." So I had to go to London.
Yep.
And I was under her, and who was more strict. Far more strict than my father.
Oh, okay.
And I was stuck with him for a year. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
I thought I gained freedom from my dad and then I'm here with my mom. No, but she's a lovely cook.
Yep.
So I survived in London.
Yeah, all moms are good cooks.
Oh my God.
They make the best food.
Amazing. Because immediately, when I went to university, I actually went there to study music.
Yep.
And then I wanted to then do my filming. So when I went to university, when I chose a university that was almost 4 hours away from home.
Right.
So I was like, I have to travel and it's so hard for me to travel. So, how about I find accommodation somewhere. It was like my tactic to get out of the house, to get out of the nest.
Right. You wanted the independence.
Yes, I wanted that independence. And then the minute I got it, I came crawling back home because I didn't know how to cook.
Yeah.
I was hungry. Yeah. I survived on nuggets.
Right.
Half the month.
And why?
Yeah, because I just couldn't. Yeah. No, I mean, I still didn't know where to find YY back then.
Oh, okay. There weren't many Nepalese grocery stores in England?
Yeah, especially around where I lived.
Yeah.
Because they were mostly where my mom lived.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't even think of packing anything. But later, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, that was my first month experience. And after that, I think I was coming home every fortnight. Yeah. And being like, I miss your food. Right. Give me some food. Yeah. But that is where I actually came up with my YouTube. I started my YouTube back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that first song became a hit, right?
Yeah, so that song was already a hit without me finding out it was a hit, because I actually had recorded that song when I was in Nepal itself, and I had recorded it in a headset,
right?
And then I had this software called Cool Edit Pro, and then I recorded it there. Yeah, and we used to have that cell phones where the Bluetooth had just started on the cell phones. Yeah. So I think we could have around 5 to 6 songs on the cell phones back then. And then I actually put my song on it, and I was like, I took it to school, and I was like, hey guys, listen to my song, and everyone's like listening to it and stuff, and then they actually liked it, so they were like, hey, pass karna through Bluetooth.
Right.
So like we started like passing the songs, and then after 2 years I came to London, and I think like after almost a year and a half or something, I realized that that song was pretty popular because I had a cousin.
Right.
I had met her for the first time. We were so bored because, you know, our parents are like, hey, just get along.
Yeah.
And then shove us in a room. So, like, we were there. And then I was, like, so bored and I didn't know what to do. And we had, like, MySpace okay, back then. Okay. So we were like, so I was on my MySpace and I put that song on MySpace. So I was like, hey, do you want to listen to my song? And she was like, yeah. So I played the song. And then she started singing that song. And I was like, how do you know this song? This is my song. And she was like, oh, you're the singer of this song? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, do you know how famous this song is? I was like, what do you mean? Like, you know, I actually sang the song, like, I mean, I recorded the song in Nepal, like, you know, and besides my phone and my friend's phone, I didn't know who else.
It actually went viral without you knowing.
Yeah, without me knowing.
Oh,
actually.
wow, okay.
Yeah, so like my friend was like, put a face to that song, And I was like, what face? And then she was the one who told me about YouTube.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay.
Yeah, in those days, I think in 2004, even YouTube was really, the video were not the good quality.
Yeah,
slow,
it was just coming up. Yeah. YouTube was just coming up. And then, but many people don't know this, that I actually started my music and my comedy at the same time. Because once I started my YouTube channel, when my first 2 uploads were probably songs, and then the third upload was a comedy video.
Okay.
And then so I used to always alternate. So I used to do one cover song or my original, and then I used to make like an original comedy channel. So like people who know me, like, you know, or have been like following me like since then, they kind of know that I've always mixed the two.
So there's always been this comedy in your gene.
Yeah, there's always been. There's always been.
It's not your hidden talent. So you also hosted some, YouTube channels, and also you were a creative director for some of the Nepali programs in Kantipur TV, I think. Right.
I was a host in Kantipur. I did Call Kantipur.
Yeah.
And I hosted Roadies as well for Himalaya TV.
Yeah.
I was actually a host for. Oh my god.
I'm not very familiar with shows in Nepal. So. Rodeo.
No, one is Roadies.
Yeah, Roadies.
I forgot which one. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I thought this would never be me, but then like I have become one of those friends who are forgetting things about Nepal, and I'm like, that can never happen. You know, when I got here for the first time, I was like, that will never happen to me. How can that happen? This is somewhere you used to go all the time. And they're like, it will happen to you as well. Now sometimes I can't even remember places and names, and I'm like,
You know, it could be because maybe you're so creative and you're always thinking like what to do next, you know. So that's why, probably you started forgetting things. That happens to me as well because I always think about business.
Yeah, because I'm saying it's my show. It's my show. It's not my show. It's my show. It's Suraj Dai's show where I just participate. Yeah, this is in Kantipur. Yeah, I'll just say that. But for Himalaya Television also, I had like this show where I was doing it before Roadies, and then Roadies came in and they were like, "Hey, do you want to be a part of Roadies? This. Do you want to host it?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I hosted it, and then obviously like they had to like continue with the show, and then I came back because I had like a couple of shows, like because I used to be a musician as well, so I had a couple of shows, gigs, this and that, and then I saw like my contract with Himalaya TV was over.
Right.
Then because I got approached by Suraj Dai from Kantipur Television. So I said yes. And I went, and then Himalaya Television was angry with me because they were like, what the hell? Like,
okay, they thought Kantipur poached you from there.
Because they didn't explain things to me properly. Also, I thought like, you know, it was just like a one-time host. But then apparently they wanted me to host again. I was like, okay, I'm so sorry. And then I couldn't because I was already locked in with call Kantipur, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's not your fault. I mean, you're a talented person and like you on demand. Anyone can poach you.
But I must say, like, Roadies did give me a lot of platform as well. I mean, it reached places where I couldn't reach as a musician or as a comedian, let's say. Like, it reached places because it was on television, and it reached very remote parts of Nepal as well, you know.
Right.
So a lot of people knew me more as the host from Roadies than
Yeah.
a musician.
Right.
Yeah. So they're finally, I think, just figuring out that, oh, she's a musician too? Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, you know, after going through all that success, fun in your career in Nepal, being a celebrity, you know, out there, people know you, and then you decide to come to Australia all of a sudden, right?
Oh.
Like, what made you come to that decision?
Well, I guess, like, you know, there's only one reason why everybody comes to Australia.
Yeah.
It's love. Otherwise, like, I don't think anybody, like, Australia, I don't think is the first thing on anybody's
It's never
head.
the
like,
first
yeah,
choice of destination
it's
for studies.
never the first.
They either go to US, UK.
Yeah. Either, like, all else fails,
Yeah.
and then you come to Australia,
Right.
or it's like, like, you're chatting with somebody and you're like, where are you from? And they're like, Australia. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
I've never, like, I mean, you know where Australia is, of
Yeah.
course, but, like, you've never, like, you know, sat there, like, and actually researched on Australia as much as you have for, like, you know, let's say America or London or
Yeah.
Europe even.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, oh my God, Australia. Oh my God, yeah, Australia exists.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, of course, like, came here for love, and then obviously got stuck also for the same reason.
Right.
Breakup. I'm kidding. COVID.
Okay. So you admit one thing, like, you know, you were in love with someone, so you
Yeah.
followed that person to Australia.
Yeah, but it's not only that. Actually, there was, like, a lot behind it also. My father always wanted me to continue my studies. My father's always very keen on education,
Yeah.
that. So once I came back from London, I got stuck in Nepal because I chose my career
Yeah.
over my studies. And I actually got stuck in London also. I mean, I actually got stuck in Nepal when I was studying in London also, because when I came back for a visit, I got into a very, very bad accident.
Oh, really? What
where
happened?
I broke my tooth, my lips.
Oh, no.
Open. Yeah, it was very bad.
Motorbike accident.
Yeah, it was more by accident.
Yeah, and you weren't wearing the helmet.
No, I mean, I was. I mean, it was more like a scooter accident, and I am more of a motorbike person. I don't really drive a scooter, and you know, like, what happens when a motorbiker. I mean, when a biker rides a scooter,
Yeah.
I feel like it's more dangerous.
Oh, okay.
Because it's automatic,
Right.
and you just think, like, what is this?
Oh,
It's like a toy.
You underestimate its power.
Yeah, but you don't realize its power.
Yeah.
And then unless you're making a turn.
Right.
Because when you're making a turn, obviously, look at the size of the wheel.
Yeah.
It's like that small.
Yes.
And then you just go flip. Yeah, that's
Right.
what happened to me.
Okay.
I landed on my scooter. Collided with one boulder, and I went flying and hit another boulder. Yeah, so it was very bad. People thought I was dead for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my friends were. Yeah, they still hate me for it.
Yeah.
Because I probably gave them PTSD.
Did you have a passenger at the back, or?
Yeah, I did, but she rolled off
Okay.
faster. Yeah, so it was, like, very bad. And then my dad had to come pick me up at 5 a.m. We all thought he was going to, like, kill me.
Yeah.
But then all he did was, like, laugh, and my face was like, where's it tooth? I was like, I don't know.
Right.
And I was like, and this is how I know my father's ditto me, because the first thing when I realized I didn't have a tooth was, I was like, let's go back and find my tooth, man. I need to, like, fix it.
Right.
And then when my father came to pick me up, he was taking me. He was, like, asking me, where did I collide?
Okay.
Because to find my tooth.
Right.
But he was like, let's find your tooth, man. I was like, right? I told my friends the same thing.
Right.
Yeah,
You didn't know, like, you can't use the tooth that's already come off.
No, of course not. And me and my father were the same,
Right.
with the same people. And then, yeah, so I actually got stuck here because of that. Sorry, long story.
Yeah.
And then, so my father was always like, you need to go out, like, you know, you need to study, this, that. And he always used to ask me to go, like, you know, go wherever I wanted. Like, he wanted me to go back to London. I said no, because I didn't like the weather. And he wanted me to go to America. And I was like, I don't know, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
And I was actually contemplating maybe around Thailand, or maybe even closer, like maybe even in India.
Right.
Because some of my cousins were already, you know, in Bombay, and like they were working very closely with Bollywood as well. So
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, shortcut.
Yeah, I
But
think,
then-
in your industry, like movie and film, probably Bombay would have been a better decision.
Yeah,
Right?
but then so much competition,
Okay.
and you need to have like that. I feel like you need to have that one oomph that says like I study abroad.
Right.
Yeah, like because in Nepal and India, like our countries, like that oomph really matters.
Yeah.
Like when people
But,
are looking at you.
Australia is not so well known for movie industry.
Yeah, not for movie industry, I know, but for music, people don't know that. Shh. Don't tell people.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but then so also long distance, and then I was like, Dad, you always wanted me to study, right? And he was like, yeah, go study. And then he had actually asked me to come to Australia once because his cousin lives here. And he was like, I've been to Australia. It's a really lovely place. Like, why don't you go there? And I was like, no, where is it? I don't even know where it is. But then like after, finding someone, then I was like, how about Australia? And he was like, I thought you didn't want to go. And I was like, yeah, well, I kind of want to go now.
Right.
Now I have a reason.
Okay.
But I'm actually very glad that I came here because after coming here, like, I think like, it's opened a lot of doors for me also. Like, I was already like, I realized like once you're in Nepal, like, and you're already like protected, you're protected. And sometimes like you need like a shake to humble you down also and to like figure out what you really want to do with life. And I feel like Australia has done that for me.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
really
It's been
obviously it's
eye opener.
the
I mean, the life.
8.5 earthquake it's given me.
Yeah. Okay. Right. And also, like, you didn't come here at a very young age. Like, you came here in your late 20s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it must have been very hard for you, like, even to get job, find a roommate.
Yeah, I feel like hard for me to get a job, but I think it's more like
Because you can't just go and work in McDonald's when you're a little bit older.
in that aspect, of course it's true. Like, and I've always wanted to, because like when I first came here, I was like very open to like working at bars. I always wanted to work at bars, so I always said I always felt like, hey, I really want to go and work at bars and this and that. But it's always someone else's opinions, like that kind of like stops you also, because even then, like, when I was like, oh, you know what, I really want to go to bars, I really want to work here, like this, that, I want to gain this kind of experience, that kind of, and they'll be like, but, people will talk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so? But I'm doing this for me. And but they're like, but still, you kind of need to see where you weigh back in Nepal, like, you can't just, and I'm like, why? But why? So, but that, it did, eventually enter my mind.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And then as an overthinker, didn't sleep for a while. And then, I don't know, like, I think it was like my cousin who like introduced me to like, a lot of like Nepalese offices around as well. And then it's very tricky.
Like, what was your first job in Sydney?
My first, it was, can I say it? It's like, it was at a consultancy.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to name it,
Right.
but like, it was at a consultancy, and like, it was okay. Like, I got a desk job as a marketing manager.
Yeah.
And it was like all going great. And I think like it's just a matter of like, when are you going to like come out of a bubble and then like, figure out, because I realized like, the first year, especially, when you come abroad, like we were discussing this before, like, a lot of people tend to like, scare you.
Yeah.
Like, and they get in your heads, and you sometimes feel like, okay, this is it. And then you live in a bubble that they create for you.
Yes.
So it's so difficult for you to get out of it.
Yeah.
And so like, but in time, like, it's just that one, when you're, especially like when you're struggling and then like, even in the mornings, you're like, like, and you're not kind of like liking the life that you're living, like where you just like, you put a foot down and you're like, you know what, how about like, you know, I go left. Every day I go right.
Yeah.
But today, you know what? I just feel like going left.
Right.
And then like that is how you apparently explore and you open new doors as well. Because like, you know, everybody's always asking you to go left. So you're always going in a circle. I mean, go right. So you go here, go right. Go there, go right. So you're in a circle. You're in a circle. But now you want to go left. You make your own
Get
turn.
out of the bubble.
Yeah. And then you finally get out of the bubble. And then you realize, oh my God, like sometimes you also realize a lot of like, you know, things that are very beneficial for yourself. Like, for example, like, you know, you realize that, oh, maybe some people were not, you know, maybe some people were just using me. Maybe some people were not treating me fairly.
Right.
Maybe some people, you know, you do come out of that shell and, you know, that bubble, and then you realize that, oh my God, there's like a whole new world outside. And I was like trapped here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that has been the life for me, let's say, for example.
Sure. I've also worked in the education industry in the past, like, you know, before I started my own business. And I tell this honestly that, you know, it's a job where sometimes you feel a bit guilty. Like, you know, because it's not a very honest industry, you know.
Yeah.
Because you're selling dreams, hopes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're overselling those things. Right?
I'm sure.
Yeah. And actually that's why I quit that industry as well. Like, you know, I really wanted to do something where I can change people's lives, you know, not just like give them a false impression that you're going to change your life, but actually not. Like you're going to end up in some course, do some kind of, you know, qualification, and you're going to get nowhere, you know.
Of course. That is like something like you always see and hear, and you have to like turn a blind eye to, and sometimes you feel bad. And I feel like I think what was like more eye-opening for me was like, you know, kind of like taking your own friend, hoping that, you know, these people like who you know in the industry will like kind of help them, because they think like you think because it's, you know them, so you're friends with them, and you know these people like, you know, who are in desperate need, let's say, you know, for their work or whatever. You take it to them, and then they try to like, you know, cheat them also. Yeah. And that's where you're like, oh my God, like, you know, and you have to like, it's such an awkward moment, because like that's not what your intentions were, because you actually thought that they would maybe make an exception, or you know, but then when they feel cheated, and then they automatically look at you also, and you're like, I didn't mean for that to happen, but I'm really sorry, you know.
Yes. Yes, that's how the system works, you know. It's all based on commission, and people, they lose their moral compass, or, you know, they forget what they're doing.
But I guess like that's
because,
how all businesses
are. The money just keeps you driving.
Yeah, I guess like that's how all businesses are. Like, you know, even when you think about, I don't know, shopping, this, that, like, you know, I feel like everything is like that, you know, very commission based, and cheating the customers, of course, like, you know. So I think like, because I think this world has become so money minded. Yeah,
it's capitalism.
Very money,
it's the profit that makes everything go around.
Yes.
Right. So. But you know, you are such a funny person. Like, you know, I was just looking at your profile on TikTok just this morning, because I follow you and I like so many videos, and I saw that you already have about 2 million likes. Yeah, that's amazing. Like, you don't have much followers. It's followers about 50,000, I think. Yeah. Right, but 2 million likes, like, you know, I think you're making many people happy. Yeah. You know, you just make them laugh.
Glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
So how do you come up with all these ideas? Like, is it because, you know, you're just creative, you're always thinking, or?
I actually, see, the thing was like, I've always been a very creative person, like, but I've not been so academically strong, like I always thought, and I've always been more creative. Right. And, but the thing was like, when I came here, like I said, like, you know, when like, you know, that 8.5 earthquake happened to me, and like, you know, I got shook. Like, I felt like this, some part of my world just like crashed for a while, you know, like, and like every Nepalese teenager who comes here, like the first year, I also went into like some sort of like a depressive state, you know, like where you feel so lost, like, you know, this, that, you don't know who to count on. So like the first thing you see, you kind of cling on, like whether it be your partner, whether it be your work, you know, this, that, whoever shows you a little bit of compassion or empathy, you just like cling on them. And then and then, but they might not always be the best people who have the best interests, you know, for
Right.
you in
Right.
mind. So I feel like what happened was I quit the job because then I was like, you know what, I need some space.
Yeah.
I need to like have a bit of a breather. And I kind of like called home and I said, you know what, I don't care. Like my mental health is at risk here.
Right.
I need some space on my own. Please, can I have 2 months? Like, can you take care of me for like 2-3 months?
Yeah.
I just need rest, you know? And my father was like, about time, like, you know, because my dad loves to help.
Okay.
But I was like, you know, I was kind of like putting a burden on myself
Yeah.
because I was kind of feeling guilty also, like, you
Yeah.
know, for not being able to take care of myself, like we all do. And then, but then obviously, like at the end of the day, your parents are always there. And like,
Right.
you know, I was just like, Dad, need help. Like, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm feeling the weight. I kind of need to, you know, be myself.
Yeah.
Like, so help me for like 2-3 months. Like, you know, with, I don't want to work. I just want to stay home. I don't want to meet people. Like, I
Right.
just want to work on myself.
Right.
And then this was in January. So for New Year, I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to be myself. And then the more I stayed home, like I'm such an introvert that way. Like the more I stay home,
Okay.
the more creative I become.
Right.
So like, if you want me to work for you, just let me stay home and work for you. You know, that's the most creative I can get.
Right.
Like if you start asking me to come to work and inside like a box room the whole day, like I start losing my creativity.
Yeah.
But if you let me stay home, like, you know, there's just something about like the safe space that I have at home. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I just ideas just pop up like that.
Right.
And then so like the minute these ideas started popping up, like, you know, a friend of mine got me on TikTok and I was like, what is this TikTok? I don't know how to use this TikTok. I've just, you know, I don't know, mastered Instagram. Like, I don't want to, to do this TikTok,
Right.
you know? Like, I couldn't even get on Twitter. So I was like, okay, I can't do this TikTok. But then slowly, because I was already starting to do like some comical stuff, like, you know, but on different apps. I was shooting in one app, I was editing in the other app, and then I was adding music to it in another app on the phone.
Okay.
And then TikTok was all of them in one place.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
It's
so I was
easy to
just like,
use.
oh my God. And then it's the best place for people who have like ADHD, which is literally everybody these days.
Right.
Because, you know, like we don't have the time, like, you know, attention span to like watch something for like, I don't know, 3 minutes.
Yes.
So like, we're just like 60 seconds or 30 seconds. Ooh, blink, 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 done.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So, okay, I'm going to start like shortening my skits.
Yep.
Like, let me challenge myself. Let's see if I can actually, like, you know, pull it off.
Right.
And then I just started doing like very daily, I don't know, I kind of like, in my skits, I actually portray like a lot of, I have a lot of hidden messages in my
Yes,
skits.
I know. There's some like stories. I mean, like social relations as well.
Yeah.
And like, is it like mostly people that inspires you, people you see in your daily life?
Yeah, I guess you can say that. And it's also like a lot of times, like, you know, how the friends around me, like, you know, like how it's mostly their life and how they were like, you know, it's based on their life or it's based on my own life.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes like I just, it's mostly like, you know, not even my own story to tell, but then like looking back at like, you know, how my friends grew up and like, you know, their stories that they used to, I mean, their experiences that used to come and obviously share, you know, saying like, oh, yeah, no, like, you know, today, you know what my mom did or you know what my dad did.
Right.
Like looking back at all those and like my own, you know, I realized like there's so much trauma and there's so much like pain and trauma and like, you know, a lot of mental health related issues, you know, just surrounding how we were brought up also, like how we were, you know, coping with a lot of things and like people back then like obviously didn't understand what we were going through and a lot of, you know, I have skits about like, you know, oh, yo bhayo pani kha. You know, this pani kha, drink water. As if like water will like, you know, heal you, like, you know. Yeah, so a lot of times like, you know, I try to tell my audience also like, you know, I know there is laughter to this and I, you know, it's relatable, but
so you're trying to be a bit sarcastic.
Yeah, it's relatable, but it's sad, you know.
Yeah.
It's so sad that you can actually relate to this because like this is not right.
Yeah.
You know, because just like most of the memes that we see, sometimes we find the most saddest meme funny, and we
Yes.
laugh out loud and then we show it to our friends also. See, and we like make them read.
Yeah.
But it's actually not.
You know why that happens? Because I think as a human being, I think we, naturally we are very jealous. So when you see people, when you see nice things, we get jealous. But when you see someone else in trouble, then somehow I don't know, we get satisfaction out of it. And that's why we laugh at it.
Yeah, well,
right.
Yeah, but
so when we know like, oh, someone's in trouble, or this could happen to someone, you can relate to that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You
But
find
that
it
also,
funny.
I think that's also a lot of childhood trauma
That's like,
built up.
yeah.
That's why it happens also. Yeah, but it is true. I actually had I'd actually watched a TikTok about this one guy who had actually said something very similar also.
Yeah.
Most of the times, like he said, like, do you know why people who come from the same place as you, it's very hard for you to find their support or their appreciation. It's because of this thing called jealousy, like that we have, because they're also thinking like, I also come from the same place.
Oh, okay.
But how come like I'm not getting this?
Yes.
That's why they come from this, like,
Oh,
they have
it's a
this
good
idea of,
point.
like,
Yeah.
It's a psychological thing.
I think that's why the closer you are to that person, the more jealous you get.
Yeah, it is true. It is true.
Sometimes even like husband gets jealous with his wife. Wife gets jealous with husband.
Yeah,
True.
that can be true as well. Yeah.
Right, sure. Can you do like, I think because you make so many TikToks, like I just guess like the ideas come to you just like आँसु कवि भन्छ नेपालीमा TikTok आँसु कवि जस्तो Can you make one TikTok now?
Now, oh my god! But you know what I actually thought in my head?
Right.
Like, there are like different kinds of artists out there.
Yeah.
Like, and I envy, like, I'm that artist, like, you'll say like, hey, why don't you sing a song? And I'm like, no, please don't do this to me, please, I'm not prepared, I'm not mentally prepared, this, that,
Right.
And then there's this other type of artist, okay, who's like so overconfident, They'll be like, hey, you're coming up with a new song, ek dui line jaos na ta, and they go like, no. No, it's just for a second.
Yeah, right.
But they'll start singing for so long that even the interviewer is just like holding the microphone. They're like, they don't know what to do.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah,
Right.
I mean, I could. That's what I could think about right now.
Yeah,
Like,
that's good. That's funny. Like I've got two daughters. They're like 13 and 11, and the younger one doesn't always like to be following the elder one. And sometimes like the elder one says like let's say for example, I like Ariana Grande, and the younger one will be saying I hate Ariana Grande, but when it's music is playing, she'll be like this. I hate Ariana Grande.
They're at that age. I went through like the very opposite with my little sister. I mean, when she was younger, she wanted to be exactly like me.
Yeah.
She used to be like, oh, I only like color purple because it's Nattu Shah's favorite color, And I love purple. And then suddenly, like, boom, like 12 or 13, and she's like, oh, like, I only follow Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is my life. I only like purple because it's Justin Bieber's color. I'm like, excuse me. That I started getting jealous of Justin Bieber.
Okay.
I was like, you used to follow me. Like, what the hell happened to you?
Right. So how many siblings do you have?
I have 2 half sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one from my mom and one from my dad.
Right. So that's why your dad is in Nepal, mom is in the UK.
Yeah.
So they got separated a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm the only child with 2 of them.
Yep.
But I have 2 younger half sisters. One is 22.
Right.
Or 21. She'll kill me if I don't get her age right. Okay. One is 21 and one is 13 now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you in touch with them regularly?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I am. Yeah. Of course, they need to complain about parents.
Yeah.
So I'm there.
Okay. So you can empathize with them.
Yes. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right, right.
Yeah.
They used to do this to me also.
Yeah. You know, this is saying, like, you know, especially the kids when they are in the early teens, like let's say 12, 13, and then up to 29, they become very selfish by nature, like, because, you know, nature is actually trying to develop them for the jungle out there, you know, and then they don't like they always try and be rebellious, go against their dad and mom's wishes and all. But after 29, they realize that, you know, their mom and dad were correct.
25.
25?
No, not 25, 23.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is the age where you're finally going out, and you're living by yourself, you're working now, you're starting to work. So I think it's around like 23, 24, like where you find, like when you're back again and you're like, I need you, like, why are you not calling me? You know,
Right.
you start getting in that phase. But I read somewhere that, you know, all the love that you can give to a child is basically till 13 years old. So till a child is 13 years old, he or she is like, you know, you need to make sure that this is the prime time where you like teach them, you know, teach them how to love, how to do this, how to do that, eat this, that you nurture them, you know, till they're 13. Because after they're 13, they apparently build their own individuality.
Right.
Yeah, so they want to seek their own individuality also, away from, like, you know, so it all depends on how you raise them, that shapes their future, on who they become from 13.
Right.
Yeah, so they will obviously get into a rebellious phase as well.
Yeah.
But it also depends on how strict and how liberal you are with your kids. You can't be too liberal also, you can't be too strict also, I believe.
Yeah, the parenting is a difficult job, you know.
Yeah. My parents were very strict with me, and then I was like rebel 101.
Yeah, I think the more strict that you are, the more rebellious they get.
Yeah, but I also believe that, you know, everybody thought like I was a rebel without a cause, but I do believe that sometimes they are rebels with a cause also.
Yeah.
And I believe that I was a rebel with a cause. I think I just wanted attention.
Right.
Like, you know, because like we said, like, you know, I come from two families, like, and I was the only one. And I think I just wanted that sort of like, you know, that particular attention from like my parents. Because like I think I just felt like I was neither here, neither there.
Right.
Like I didn't know where I belonged. So I think I needed that attention. That's why like I was more of a rebel, so that like my parents would focus more on me, even if it was like a negative way, like, you know, but at least I was still getting that focus, you know. I was still, I think that's it.
Sure.
You can tell I've done a lot of self-reflection.
Yeah, I know. Like, you know, it's the situation that you're growing up. That's what teaches you all these things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and it's easy for people to laugh at your jokes and you know have fun with you, but there's always a story behind, isn't it? Like, you know, and I'm sure you must have, you know, some sad stories as well, like, you know, because seeing your parents get divorced at a very young age must have been difficult for you too.
Of course. That's why like half my life I grew up as a rebel, like I said, and I guess it was more like, you know, trying to find where you belong. Then obviously, like, you know, obviously everybody has like their own kind of tragedy that they go through, or like a trauma. Some people only think like, something like very drastic needs to happen in a child's life to, you know, for that person to go into trauma, you know. But that's not the case. Like, you know, sometimes like maybe a child is just walking down the street and then a very big dog just barks at her, like, and just scares, you know, the living lights out of her. That can also develop into a big T, you know, a big trauma.
Yes.
That can create a lot of PTSD in a life. For us, like, you just be like, it's just a dog. Come on. But then we don't understand the depths of, like, you know, how it feels to be her.
Yeah.
Like, you know, how big of an impact it might have, you know, created in her life.
Yeah.
So just like that, I feel like, you know, in everybody's life also, we have like a lot of smaller and bigger traumas, but we can't really compare them.
Yes.
You know, and I think like even in my life, I had a fair share of trauma, let's say, even that I've went through as a kid, and that all of my my cousins also, we all went through it together. So that's why I think we're all always like, hurled in a bundle. Like every time we meet each other, we're like, oh, you know, so all the parents are like out.
Right.
And only us in. And I feel like that is also like one of our, defense mechanisms, because we always felt like maybe parents didn't understand us.
Right.
Because now obviously even the parents are like, why don't our kids talk to us?
Yeah.
Why don't they eat with us? You know,
Yeah.
because we're always choosing to eat with like each other. Like we're always searching for each other. We have like a big bundle of like cousins. And I don't think anybody's seen cousins, the bond that strong, like the way we are, like, I don't know how many of us we are. And then the way we're so tight with each other, like we'll keep our deepest secrets, darkest secrets, like, like we'll probably like, I don't know, help hide a body. We're like that type.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, but then parents are always like, why don't they eat with us, this and that? And I was saying like, maybe because like, as a child, maybe there was no bond, like I said. Yeah, because I guess like that is the main reason why it is not okay for you to have a child when you're still not mature enough.
Right.
Like here, like we think of it biologically, so many times like, oh, age gaisakyo, umer gaisakyo, aba kole biha garcha timलाई, aba kasari bacha paune, like all that.
Yeah.
But I feel like my mom is like a living example of like you can actually get a baby even when you're 40s, in your 40s.
Yeah.
My mom had a baby when she was in the 40s. My mom had another, like my youngest sister in her 40s. But it's always, you need to be mature enough, I feel.
Right.
Because you can't just like, you can't be immature yourself, like still wanting to go out and do things and then like have a child, because then you start resenting that child.
Yes.
Because then you start becoming like, oh, I want to go out, I want to party, but I can't go out because of you. So see, that is also like a certain kind of resentment, like a hatred, and that child will feel it. You'll also feel it, and then that's what's gonna create like a distance between you guys.
I think like from my experience as a dad, what I feel is you gotta find that common interest with a kid. You know, it's not like because you're a dad or a mom, they can't come and have dinner with you, and then while having dinner, you always like criticize them, judge them, or just keep on giving advice. That's what they don't like. And these days, like just because you are a dad or you're older, you know more, because kids these days know more than us. They have the Uncle Google,
They do.
They just go and ask Google and they know everything, right?
Yeah, they do.
Right. So if we talk to them about things that they want to talk about, like their interests, I think then you can be more friendly with them.
Yeah. I feel like these days, like even like TikTok and everything, like it also teaches you a lot of things also, like, on how to like, parent a child and all that, like it all like TikTok teaches a lot, of things to do.
Yeah, it does. It's full of information up there.
It sometimes like shows me so many ways I've been cooking eggs wrong.
Right. Yeah, all those hacks, like,
All my life, So I just feel like, but you're right. Like, every generation, because Google is such a great platform for people to find like-minded things also, and to find out more information also. It's just so sad that some people just do not use Google at all, especially like, back in our country. Sometimes when I hear about how they think, how they talk, how they comment, I'm like, it's so ignorant.
Right.
And I'm like, what do you use, half your time? You have the internet in the palm of your hands. If you want to learn anything, you can simply learn with a click of a button. If you want to like explore your talent, you can actually just one click of a button. You want to like, extend your talent, like, or like, just like make people discover you. One button. In a generation like this, in a world like this that we live in, and people still do not use the internet correctly. Instead, they just become keyboard warriors, as we were talking about. Waste a lot of energy, time, so much negativity they are spreading into the world. Instead of that, like, stop being ignorant, just research. You don't know something, just figure it out.
Yeah,
Like watch a documentary. There's so many things on Netflix, YouTube. Like people in Nepal who can't even open Netflix accounts, like already have Netflix, like hundreds of Netflix in one account, and still they can't watch like a decent documentary.
Yeah, in Nepal you see like the 300 channels.
Learn about the world, climate change.
Yeah.
There's so many better things to research and like learn about instead of sitting there and going like, oh, your nose looks like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Be wise, not a critic, I mean, like I think it's just some people are just so toxic, and they want to bring people down to their level,
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to jealousy, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, it is like it is a lot of,
and I'm sure you being out there in the media, you have to deal with all these things.
Yeah, like feel my skin. I think it's like rhino right now.
I'm sure you must have grown very thick skin.
Very thick. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, like,
and also like maybe because of your sexuality, if you don't mind me, talking about it.
Yeah.
Because you're one of those brave Nepali women, who came out of the closet.
Yeah.
And declared yourself a lesbian, right? But society hasn't still digested that, thing yet.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere, maybe in your TikTok or somewhere, there was one comment. Commenter he was saying, not to तिमीलाई के भन्छ बहिनी भन्ने कि दिदी भन्ने अथवा भाइ भनेर गाली, you said दाइ भनेर.
Yes.
That was so funny, slam.
Yeah, sometimes I do that. I'm sure like there are a lot of people who are like, yeah, I know she does that, but it's funny because a lot of times like these commenters, they've also like had that wrath, not just wrath, fall on top of them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I guess like it is one is attention seeking.
Yeah.
Like it's completely attention seeking because sometimes when I like sometimes they'll say something that it's so difficult to ignore.
Yeah.
So especially sometimes when you're not in the mood or you also have your days, you're also human. And then so sometimes like I mean, of course you have to like comment also because at times like you have to tell your well-wishers also like, thank you. You have to show that kind of appreciation. Otherwise your well-wishers would also start saying, oh, so kamandi, lekta pani lekdaina, and all that.
Yeah.
So to balance all that, even though you just would love to like switch off the comment section, but then you have to like go through your comment section and then you have to like, reply to like, one or two messages and like a couple of, so that you can also make people feel appreciated, Saying
so you're approachable.
Listen, I
like
saw it and I'm thank you. Yeah, and then, but then obviously there are like some comments that like, like, just like irritate you because it's it's not only ignorant, it's like the grandfather of ignorance. It's so bad.
Yeah.
And then, so you feel like you want to write to them, like, and then you, first nothing, you control yourself, so much. And then pachi say you're like, you know what, I'm going to write to this person, I'm going to tell this person, him or her, or I don't know who it is because they always hide behind they always hide behind a fake account. And I'll tell this person like, I'll give this person also a little piece of my mind. And then you tell them something, like I'll give them like, but you don't talk shit, obviously. You tell them things very nicely, like in a very nice manner, diplomatic as you can be.
Yeah.
And then they'll say like, oh, actually, I'm a big fan, but you never see my messages. That's why I wrote this to you. Right. Actually, sorry for writing blah, 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 but I'm actually a big fan.
Oh, okay. So he or she was the one who was seeking attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes you're just like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Right.
Yeah. And then I usually say, ew, and then block them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like most of the time, like it's always like, young babies, who are just, I don't know, probably new to TikTok or social media, and then they're just like, they're just out there. They're like bots. They're literally like just like bots. They're like little spammers who just like write stuff. So like those things that I just ignore. You have to, because sometimes like you get into like this argument with like these people, and then like once they run out of like a good debate, they just start saying like, oh, celebrity bhayera pani I thought you were a celebrity.
Right.
Celebrities are not supposed to do this, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. Why?
Okay.
You know, we're not human.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, you know, sometimes like your words hurt, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think best not to engage.
Yeah, not.
Just kill them with kindness.
Yeah, that is true. They also say like, there's, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but gulai jati kota gun also. My friends always give me this dialogue. And
Right.
they're always like, chore, no kota. Gun also.
Kukuलाई tunggale haneर चिता पर्छ भन्छ
Yeah.
Same कुरा हो.
Yeah.
Okay. So not actually, how old were you when you decided to come out of your closet?
Meeta, I didn't ever decide. My parents actually came out for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this was like, I think I was 15.
15, yeah?
Yeah. I think I was 15. My mom had come to Nepal.
Yeah.
And my whole family had done this dinner kind of thing with her included. And I was just like, maybe they're about to, like, I don't know, discuss about my college or university or something like that or whatever degree. And then it turns out that they were all talking about my sexuality back home. And
so they were like guessing that, maybe
yeah, they were I think more than guessing, they were more like concerned.
Okay.
They were more concerned. They were more concerned about, like, whether, I think they were more concerned about my dad, because nobody had the guts to tell my dad. So they kind of invited my mom all the way from London to have this conversation, because my mom was the only one who could communicate with my dad, because everybody thought my dad was like the mean machine or like the macho man.
Right.
Like, oh my God, like, he's not gonna like this or whatever. But I think, like, my mom was just like, you guys don't understand that, our daughter is like I'm my dad's world. Like, it doesn't matter, like, me, who I am, like, what I am, it will never change his love for me. And that I saw, like, when he also, like, when he was there, like, in the room, and my mom decided to tell, because that was exactly what my mom told me.
Yeah.
Before, like, because I was so scared. And then I was like, please don't tell dad. But then she was like, no, we have to. But then she said, like, but if you trust me, nothing is going to change between you and my father. Like, you are your father's world.
Right.
Like, ever since you were a kid, like, till today, you've always going to be your father's child.
Yeah.
And, like, tomorrow, just because of who you are, your identity, this, that, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change between you and your father. And then I said, okay, fine, I trust you. We go there. And my dad's there, like, smoking in a corner. And then my mom is just like, so, sunyo ta? And then this is how she says. Right. This is exactly what she says. I was thinking more like I don't know, like a slowly into the conversation. But no, my mom's like, sunyo ta? And he's like, hamro chori ko ta girlfriend cha re.
Right.
I was like, I didn't want to be a part of that like conversation at all. I was like, I need to leave. I was already feeling faintish. Like, I'm gonna. And my dad's like literally just like looks back from the window and goes like, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't even make eye contact. I'm like, please don't look at me.
Right.
And then she goes like, अब तिमीले छोरा चाहियो भने बच्चा बेलादेखि छोरा चाहियो भनेर हाम्रो छोरीलाई छोरा जस्तै बनायो नि त अब बुहारी एक्सपेक्ट गर रे
lightly. Okay.
ठिक छ. Literally, that's all he said. He just looked back, he was smoking, and all he said was ठिक छ. And I was like, what? Did you just say ठिक छ? Like, this is the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then it just blew my mind. And my dad was just like, he came to me and he was like, it doesn't matter. Like, he didn't talk to me about girls for the longest time, obviously.
Right.
Like, it was always awkward for him, I guess, in a way. I think, like, but even if I was a guy, he would never, because my dads also, they don't do that with my Tuluboy and all, they don't do that with their sons also either. But, like, I guess, like, now we've come to this understanding, like, where he's very comfortable to talk about, like, where are you going to find a partner? Or, like, when are you going to settle down? That settle down talk. जुन पनि एजमा जुन पनि सेक्सुअलिटीमा पनि हुँदो रहेछ त्यो चाहिँ इट डजन्ट लिभ यु अलोन अनि सो त्यो चाहिँ लाइक इज far more comfortable now, like, you know. And back then there was this one age, like, you know, where I used to be like, you know, because I used to feel like very out of place, and like, and I used to feel like, you know, even members of my family, I say, like, you know, would bully me or whatever. And then I thought, like, you know, I had to leave Nepal in order to be like accepted. I thought I had to leave Nepal and I had to go to London to be with my mom, maybe, because maybe that would be a better life for me, where people would be appreciative and all that. But then my father was so devastated with the idea of like me leaving him. My father like just like blew up in the family meeting, you know, like, and he was like, my daughter is gay, like, you know, I accept it. And dare if anybody talk, you know, behind her back or my back about her, and nobody is taking her anywhere. She's going to be in this country, live in this country. I'm gonna be there behind her 100%. And then that was it. Then no family member could say anything. Nobody could interfere. My confidence level from minus 50, it blew up to plus 150. My self-confidence.
So, I mean, you must thank your dad for that kind of support.
Of course. And I'm always going to be like, no matter how I'm going to look, like the boyish I might look, you know, the shortest hair I might have, I'll always be my father's princess.
True. So, you know, I think you are such a well-known celebrity back home, and I mean, you still, there's always room for improvement. You know, you're still learning so many new skills. You know, you can go back and then probably, you know, make a bigger mark in your industry, right? I think you can also help people like you, LGBTQI, right? Community.
It is quite a mouthful.
By giving them that voice. You know, like if you were a leader who were representing those people, like how would you make them more inclusive in the society?
I am such a bad person to ask this question, I feel, because, you know, a couple of years back when I was in Nepal itself, like I was called in for my first LGBTIQ plus community speech, like one, and it was for anti-homophobic day. It was my first time. I was so nervous. I didn't even know if I would offend my own people. You know, it was like it was that bad. Like, and because I realized that being a gay person, myself, a lesbian myself, I grew up in a completely straight community where the straight people, like, you know, obviously accepted me for who I was. And so I always felt safe within the straight community, after, especially, like, you know, after I got support from my dad and all that. I also made like my straight friends feel comfortable around me, and I also felt very comfortable around them, like to such a point that I started becoming more straight, like, you know, especially with my thinking. So I was more straight thinking, and I think like sometimes I also did it to, like, you know, kind of fit in, you know, because I didn't ever have friends from the LGBTIQ community around me. It was only like later on later on in my life that I started having like a role model, like, you know, Nilu Doma Sherpa was like my biggest role model. She's no more. But she was the one who actually, like, you know, gave me this push in order to, like, you know, just be myself, and, like, you know, she always wanted me to come out in the media and this, like, and be as open as she was, but I was never comfortable because I was always very scared. Like, in the back of my mind, I was like, I was more scared about you know how sometimes like when you find out
too straight for a gay.
And not only that, but I was also like, you know, sometimes like when you find out like your favorite celebrity is actually dating someone, and you kind of like don't like them anymore. So I think I was scared of that.
Yeah.
I was more scared of like, what if like, my fans like, find it like Toka or like, I don't know, because I do have like, male fans as well. And I always thought like, I always wanted to like impress them for some reason, you know what I'm saying? And so after I started realizing that, oh my God, I have such a platform and I'm not even using it to speak for the LGBTIQ community. And it was so bad. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to come. I'm going to do this speech. But I was so nervous. I had no idea. And then like these other lesbians go before me, and they are so well spoken. They know exactly what agenda they are fighting for.
Right.
They're going like, "Pathai gar cancer lai pani ab paisa chahincha." Etauta, because like, even like funnily enough, funnily enough, like even like in Nepal, like I mean, even within the LGBTIQ community, the male, the gays, and the transgender women do get a lot more benefit than the lesbians and the transgender men. Because transgender men, like people have not even heard of in Nepal. So, so many women that didn't even know that they could transform into men.
Right.
But transgender women, everybody knows, like, it's, and it's very popular, like broad, well educated. Everybody's well educated on that topic, and so there's always been this clash, race, where the funds come, how it divides this and that. That's why, like, a lot of that, I think from the Blue Diamond Society in Nepal, also like lesbians.
Yeah, they get a lot of money from Elton John as a donation, has it?
Oh.
Blue Diamond?
I'm not sure. Like, see, the thing is, like, I'm just getting into
the guy who started Blue Diamond in Nepal, he actually studied in USSR, Russia. And my friend was his roommate for 4 years. And he didn't know he was gay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he came out later in his life.
Yeah. But I was talking about this game. When I was in the closet, I was more, I would act more of a homophobe than an actual homophobe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was so scared to be caught.
Yes.
So I used to like, when like my own straight friends or my cousins used to be fighting with me saying like, how can you talk about their basic human rights? Like that, I used to fight with them. Saying like, no, it's against the nature.
Right.
Because I was so scared to be like caught.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like that still happens till date. Like there are a lot of times like where like when people passionately fight, like become a homophobe, I honestly doubt that they're straight. Sometimes I feel like maybe they're also in the closet gays or lesbians.
Right.
So because nobody passionately fights like
they're
that.
They're just trying to convince themselves.
Yeah. They're trying so hard to stay in that closet,
Right.
And so, but I used to do that.
Yeah.
Right now, so like obviously there are other people also who does it.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like sometimes like so to Blue Diamond I feel like Mitini Nepal. I mean lesbians are like matter focus and trans men like focus they came out with Mitini Nepal. More to do with women. And so that was where I was talking, and these women were like, oh my God, empowered lesbians and trans men, like talking, and they were talking about their political stuff, their basic rights, this, that, and they were sharing their stories, and like it was horrible. Like I honestly felt like I do not deserve to be on this podium.
Right.
Like I do not deserve to be speaking.
So are you saying that they were like fanatical? I mean, extreme.
Like, it's not extreme, like, but what feminist. They endured in their life, coming out, and what they have been through in their life, it was so heartbreaking, and I understand their passion behind it, like, and I kind of understand why I'm so like lacking behind, because I realize like, I'm very shamelessly, you need to address what your privileges are also, and even in a LGBTIQ community plus society, I am a privileged gay. My parents came out for me. I was accepted immediately. My father stood as a biggest backbone for me, enough to like make everybody quiet. Like nobody could say even a word to me. I grew up with so many straight people around me who love me for who I am. So I've never really endured any hate. What do you call it? Like hate bullying, or stuff like that. Except like obviously when I'm exposed to like everyone like on social media or like YouTube, TikTok, then maybe on the comment section, but then like personally in my face, this that I've never. So I do consider myself as a privileged gay. But when I was like sitting there like and listening to like these women who had gone through so much in their life, some people had been raped by their fathers, raped by their brothers, like it was that bad. Like just to prove that they were women, and to put them in their place. How they say like very misogynist thoughts, and saying like, what is this lesbian, and so many people got kicked out of their house, like bruised, battered. I was like, I don't think like I'm eligible to be standing on this podium and like talking about women rights, like I mean like LGBT lesbian rights, what I'm saying, like I just felt like this was not the place for me. I don't think I deserve to be here. And but then like obviously a lot of people like Lakshmi Galanji, they were like they sat me down and they were like, no, like everybody has their own story, and just because some people like endure like such harshness in their society, but maybe you can be that good story also. That maybe sometimes like people will just accept you for who you are also. Like it does not always have to be like butchered and bruised and battered. Like it can they can also be a happy story. So maybe you can be a happy story to them. But she said, then I was like, okay. I didn't look at it that way. I always compared my pain with their pain. Okay? It's not like I didn't go through my own share of pain. Of course I did. But then in comparison, I compared myself. Okay? And then I was told like to never compare myself also, because तिमीलाई सानो चोट आया होला तर कसैलाई like I think I'm gonna die होला कसैलाई के भने त्यस्तो होला हैन. Every person is different नि भनेर पनि अब I understood, but I guess like but that from there onwards I've started talking more for lesbians, because I also do believe that even though we come together as a community, to make our voices heard. Because individually our communities are minor communities. We're very small. So actually you can't just be like, straight woman, straight man, and the LGBT and the others LGBTI because it's just a community that's come together to be heard. But a gay guy's problem is cannot be shared by a lesbian woman, for example. A lesbian woman's pain cannot be understood maybe by a transgender woman. For example, a transgender woman could maybe not by a transgender man even. Every person is different in their own. Every community is individual, and have their own thoughts and beliefs and stuff. And I feel like a lot of people need to understand this also, that when we say LGBTIQ, but it doesn't mean like you cannot say like, oh, I'm a lesbian. Oh, you're a lesbian woman. Oh, yeah, you know what? Even I have a gay friend. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can say. You can't
put them all in one basket.
You can't put them.
I think the needs of a lesbian woman is different to the needs of a gay guy. Or
so if someone
their values may be different.
If someone's if a gay guy is like maybe I don't know,
like maybe you might believe in monogamy. But I see so many gay guys, they don't believe in monogamy. They're swinging.
They might be
having more fun.
Polyamorous. These days. But then again, like we can't only say like gay and lesbians are into polyamorous, because I know of like a lot of straight friends also who are very polyamorous, and but I feel like, but you're right. Like,
so do you plan to like get married? Maybe
well,
these days, even having two moms, two dads become so common. They're legally allowed to get married. They even have kids.
Yeah, but I don't think it's allowed in Nepal. Like in Nepal,
Okay.
like yeah, people assume that
Yeah.
Nepal, like it's legal in Nepal, but it's actually not.
Okay.
It just so happened that in Nepal, like
It's not in the constitution yet.
yeah, it's not. It just so happened that I think they were allowed same sex to live together.
Right.
Live together, because before I don't think that was
Yeah.
allowed either.
In
So
Australia, it's in constitution already.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia is one of the places, I think. But like in Nepal, it's not. And I would like people to understand that it's not, because so many, like, especially like, I know, straight allies and stuff, you know, they always go around saying like, oh, do you know Nepal, one of the first countries to accept
I
gay
heard that too.
marriage and all that.
Yeah.
But it is not, sadly,
right.
you know. And so we still need to like fight for it. But yeah, because I believe like, you know, love is love and you're allowed
Right.
to, you know, be. And if it's not your life, then, you know, I don't think it's your opinion.
Yeah.
Your opinion's not going to do anything in their life. Like, really, do you really want to like stop two people from loving each other? Like, how cruel are you? Once again,
Exactly. Yes.
That's all you
your
need to
life.
ask. Okay?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just you're really stopping two people from, you know, loving each other. Like, oh my God, like, you know, that is the most cruelest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like even with caste and you know, our caste difference and this and that. Like I feel like sometimes, you know, if your children have chosen to, you know, love somebody, like, you know, let them love who they want. Like, you know, why are we still thinking about, I know, then I'm a caste difference. I know, then what the hell? Like, you know, love is love. Like, let it be.
Yeah.
And in fact, like, you know, if you marry outside your own caste, I feel like your genetically wise also your DNA becomes much more stronger.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
If a child is born through a different, you know,
Completely different
genetic
They're the best
make,
genes.
then they get the best out of both genes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it is true.
Yeah.
So you need to decide. Do you want your future generations to be weak or do you want them to be strong?
Okay, yeah, it's a very interesting conversation on this topic. Just to move on, I think we already talked about for more than an hour.
Yes.
I didn't realize time flies so
Whoever's
quickly.
gonna edit this is gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, that's the problem we have all the time. Like, you know, when we chat, like it goes on for an hour and a half. When it comes to editing, like you can't really edit anything. So these days, what we've been doing is we broadcast the whole program anyway, and then maybe have smaller clips later on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a smarter way. I feel.
Because, you know, sometimes the conversation goes so interesting, you don't feel like cutting and, you know, doing that injustice to your program, you know?
Yes.
Right. Right, sure. And especially talking to a funny person like you, I think the first half was like quite funny.
Yeah, and then we went like
a little bit serious. But that was an interesting topic too, right? Sure.
Yeah.
So do you plan to stay in Australia or you want to go back to Nepal? Like, what's your plan?
I'm very confused. I don't know whether to. I mean, I've always said this. I think with Nepal and Australia, there's like, or abroad anyway. Nepal you have the comfort, but you don't have the freedom. But anywhere abroad, you have the freedom, but you don't have the comfort.
Yeah.
So it's always like you need to sacrifice one thing or the other.
I think the comfort will come once you settle down.
Yeah.
You know.
And I feel like, because you're, like I said before, like, you know, you already come from like such a protected background, like where your family is always there, like, you know, they've always done everything for you, and then like for you to like fly away and then tomorrow like wake up and you're like, oh my God, like I'm on my own and all that.
Yeah.
But then again, with that also comes like, you know, a sense of relief also to your mental health also, because like, you know, how in Nepal we still tend to like, you know, listen to a lot of family, relative, not even like your immediate family, like relative people talk and their opinions and, you know, what they think you should do with your life. And so many times, like, you know, it's sad, but like you do tend to like follow their needs and their dreams for you than your own, just to stop hearing that
Yeah.
nyak nyak.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're abroad, like, you know, you have that freedom to kind of like just be like, hey, I'm busy.
Right.
And just to stay away from that
Yeah.
kyau kyau, like I call it.
Exactly.
You know?
You need a break.
Yeah, chitter chatter, yes. And yeah, so you get that break, and then again, like I feel like when you go back to Nepal, of course you miss home, you miss that food, you miss I miss my dogs more than anything. You see why? Because they don't talk.
Yeah.
That's why I miss them a lot.
Right.
And of course I miss my family. I want to be there with my dad.
Yeah.
This, that. But I know, like, once I get there, like once you overstay, you know exactly when you're overstaying. Yeah, because then it starts taking a toll on your mental health also. I'm not saying like they're the reason behind it, but all I'm saying is like once you have a little taste of your own independence, it's very difficult for you to go back to, you know, that kind of society again.
Yeah.
I feel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it'd be good if we can stay here permanently, and then, you know, maybe go back to Nepal every now and then.
Let's see.
Yeah. I think that would be the ideal lifestyle, you know. 6 months here, 6 months there.
Yeah, oh my God, I would love that.
And I think
get, like,
with these
dual
days,
passports.
especially in your industry, you know, you don't have to have a physical workspace.
Yeah.
You can work from anywhere.
Yeah, that is true.
I see so many of your TikTok videos. I think you were in Nepal. Like,
okay.
Because, you know, sometimes you make videos of you and your mom and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks exactly like it was done in Nepal.
Yeah, thank you.
So people
No,
don't
I just
know.
live in a very old apartment. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, before we you know, finish our program, I'm sure our audience must be a bit curious, because you gave a bit of hint earlier that you came to Australia because you had to follow your lover.
Oh yeah.
So what's the story behind that?
Oh
Like,
no, like, oh, that is such a
who's the
personal,
lucky
private-
person?
No. I guess no.
You don't want to disclose. Okay.
Yeah, that chapter has been closed, long forgotten as well.
Really?
Yeah, very sad. But you know, in the beauty of that was, like, after I came here, like, I got to meet a lot of amazing human beings and individuals, and especially, like, you know, a lot of friends also who have, like, helped me through you know, self-realization and like, you know, all that, like sitting with my thoughts and meditation and all that, you know. And it's actually given, like, opened a path to spirituality also, which one thing I never thought I would get into.
Right.
I used to tease my best friend like crazy. He's big Sadhguru Bhakta. And he has even taken me for the initiation class also. Like, you know, where you had to shower, put cold water 5 a.m. and be there by 6 in the Krishna Mandir, like for 7 days, and then go through that whole initiation on. Still, I did all that. Still didn't believe in spirituality. Like, you know, you have to have something, basically. Like, you need something happen to you, and then you'll be like, okay, like that belief, that door just opens for you. And so like now I kind of like apologize to him also, like my best friend, and I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't get it, man, back then. I hated meditation because I hated my thoughts. You know, I hated to sit with my thoughts, but now I get it. Like, you know, sometimes you need to. Sometimes, like, I overthink, like you say. I'm a Virgo, okay? I love overthinking. It's my passion. I do it very passionately. So yeah, sometimes, like, when I'm overthinking, I just need to, like, step back and be like, oh, I literally do that to myself. I'm just like, oh, yeah. So, like,
sometimes it's important to laugh at yourself as well.
And
don't
I do that all the time.
Things seriously,
Yeah. Like, I heard somewhere.
So
like,
if you had to give tips to our audience, like, you know, how to be happy and funny, like you are.
Trauma.
Three tips. Let's, like, not just
gain
one.
a lot of trauma in your life, guys. Don't. How to live funnily or like just be happy.
You know, there's a saying that, you know, if you can make 3 people happy, laugh every day, or even 2 person laugh every day, you know, the world would be a much happier place because of the chain reaction, you know, if everyone thinks like that.
Well, I think in order for you to, like, truly master the art of like being funny.
Yeah.
I think you need to be okay with like your most embarrassing self.
Yeah.
Like just accept the way you are, accept the person you are, because a lot of times like I joke about myself, like
Yes.
like I can joke about whatever it is, like maybe the most stupidest thing I've done, or
Right.
like maybe the most embarrassing thing I've done, like
Yeah.
I can sit and I joke about it. Some people will like hide behind it, like
Yeah.
but I just believe like it's just you being human.
Right.
Like you make these mistakes, like you
So
joke about it, but
joke
let
about
it out.
yourself.
Yeah, and
But
joke about it, but let it out.
how about
let it out.
joke about others?
Joke about others? Well, joking about I mean, there's a fine line.
Right.
There's
So
a
you
fine
have to be
line.
careful who you're joking about, maybe, right?
I feel like yeah. I mean, you can joke about.
Joke about others without offending them. Can you do that?
Yeah. I think you can. I think like I can like sit with someone and be
Yeah.
like, oh my god, do you know what he did?
Yeah.
And then that person will be like, don't. And I'll be like, no, don't worry, this is safe space.
Right.
And then like maybe like just joke about it. But then you always need to ask him or her like if they're okay.
There are some stand-up comedians. They're just good at offending others. And
Oh yeah, picking.
you know?
I envy them.
Yeah.
No. I think like it's just. I think that is actually one of your like when you're nervous.
Yeah.
I feel like comedians do that when they're nervous. When they're nervous, they just kind of like take the attention from you because like everybody's looking at you. So sometimes when you like let's say like I'm picking on you now,
Yeah.
it's taking the attention away from me for a while
Right.
and it's giving it to you.
Yeah.
It's giving to someone else. So I feel like that's what comedians do when they're kind of like nervous sometimes.
Okay.
Like they just like point at someone else and then so that all the attention.
Yeah.
goes
They pick one of the audience and then.
Yeah. It's actually like a very nervous.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have no idea like sometimes like how many like I can talk to you like this and that, but I am the most nervous, the most introverted person.
I wouldn't believe that. You think you are introvert?
I'm a introverted extrovert.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There is a
There
term
is
like
a
that,
class introverted extrovert.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Like it'll take me like a couple of seconds to like figure you out, like see my atmosphere, like see if I'm okay, like can I be me here, like this, that, or do I like the vibe, do I like the energy?
Yeah.
And then I can like totally be myself.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes like if someone's energy is completely off, like I can sense it so fast.
So you're not like a social butterfly.
Yeah, it just closes me.
Right.
Yeah, so I need to like first I observe.
Yeah. That's a good quality too, They say introvert people are more trustworthy.
Yeah, but what about introverted extroverts? Don't trust them.
Yeah.
They'll
Right.
keep your secret initially, and then they'll say it on stage.
No, I think most introverts are like that. They're introvert in the beginning, but once they get to know you better, and then they open up.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
And they're not good at making many friends.
Yeah.
They're only good at making small number of good friends.
I have a lot of what do you call them, like acquaintances, I believe.
Right.
But like very good friends, like palm of my hand.
Yeah.
Just like this. Like this, okay. Was the 30. 59, no 15.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
But yeah, that is me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I actually wanted to say like, so comedians, like, I read somewhere that actually comedians are people with who's endured like most pain in their lives, and they just know how to like channel it through laughter.
Yes.
Like because like a lot of comedians are actually very depressed people.
Yeah, like
they drink
even
a lot.
Yeah.
They have a lot of other addictive. Like, I'm not saying I do.
Yes.
But like, but apparently I heard this and I was like, it was a fun fact somewhere I read it and I was like, it actually makes
even
a lot of sense.
Charlie Chaplin, he had a very sad story, like too many tragedies in his life. Right.
Yeah, they just know how to like turn it. I think like it's also because like once you endure, these are individuals like once you endure something in your life and you know how sad you are, you do not want anybody else to feel that sadness ever. Okay.
Yes.
So you kind of like work your way around and like to give them like a bit of positivity and laughter more than like that kind of like sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's also like that. sad, depressed talk.
Right.
I need to go get my
thanks
pills
for your
now.
humility,
Thank you.
Being so
It's pill
transparent.
time.
Open. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think if I keep talking to you, probably we can go on for another hour, right?
We would then start doing,
Yeah.
let's get drinks, food.
Yes, right. And we're getting hungry. Probably we should go out for dinner. Right. So anyway, thank you very much, Nattu. And I wish you all the best for your studies and your
Thank you.
Coming days in Australia.
Thank you so much.
And maybe you'll get lucky again in your love life.
Thank you.
Right, fine.
Maybe not now, please, Bhagwan. Not now.
No, love happens,
Yeah.
You can't
It's always
plan for
like,
it.
when you're picking up your career and then boom, you meet someone and then you go down again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, please, not now, not right
Right.
now.
Maybe you got to find a like-minded partner who's also into career building,
Yeah,
Right, so
definitely.
you can support each other.
Hopefully, yeah,
Right.
that I'm looking forward to.
Because
If you're
in
watching-
Australia, without if you have a partner who can help you financially as well, it's good,
Yeah,
Because
that is-
being by yourself and studying here and paying so much in tuition fees is such a challenging task.
yeah. So are you asking me to find a sugar daddy, sugar mommy,
A PR wala uncle.
or beer wala? If you know anyone, please do give them my number.
Sure. I can be a matchmaker for you.
Yes.
Right, Nattu. Do you want to say something to our audience? Do you have any messages? I know you already given 3 tips before about being happy,
Yeah.
but anything else?
I think I don't know. Well, I would like to say thank you so much for watching this show, and thank you so much for inviting me also.
Yeah.
And for my audience, be true to yourself, be kind, be compassionate, show a lot of empathy. There's not a lot of good people in this world. So I feel like, you should be good and spread the kindness, and I feel like it just catches on. Like it's a chain reaction. If you're kind to somebody today, maybe that person will be kind to someone else. And then I feel that sometimes when someone's kind to me, I automatically become kind to the other person.
Yes.
And I feel like it's a chain reaction, and then you'll start a chain of happiness.
Yeah.
See how good that is. And plus, sometimes you don't know what people are going through, in a day.
Yeah,
You
don't
know
judge them.
you don't know if they're, I don't know, they fought with their father, mother, spouse, if they lost somebody, their dog, sometimes. And so they might not be the happiest or the,
Yep.
quirkiest person, but that doesn't mean you think of them as rude or commandi or, So I feel like I always give people a chance. Unless they're cheating. Do not give a chance unless they're cheating.
Right.
But besides that,
Yeah.
always give people a chance and always spread love, not hate. Yeah. I think
Sure.
that's my biggest message to people these days. Always be kind.
Yeah.
Also follow me. I keep forgetting. Yeah.
Let's make her the biggest TikTok star ever. She has
Make me a TikTok star.
2 million likes already. Let's double that.
Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on, I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you want.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys my links.
Sure.
You guys can have them. Yeah.
And also, you'll be making some movies in the near future, right?
I wish. I really want to be a villain, by the way. If you guys
Right.
are making movies,
Yeah.
I want to. If you guys want villain, I want. I
Okay.
really want to challenge myself.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Nattu. There were some
so
really
much.
great advices. Really nice chatting with you,
Thank
and hopefully
you.
we'll catch up again in the near future.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, with that message, I think that's the end of our show today. Thank you very much for your audience, and we'll see you next time with another interesting guest and topic. Bye. Namaste.